Hi, I'm Bonnie Mata. Welcome to another video on Reality Transurfing. Today we're going to be talking about principle number 5, the world mirror. Principle. The world mirror is what you think of it. The world is a mirror that reflects your relationship to it. Life is a game in which the world plus the same riddle to all its inhabitants. Okay, I guess. What do I look like? Everyone responds in their own way according to their own perception. You are aggressive. Or are you cozy? Or even cheerful, gloomy, friendly, hostile, happy, ill-fated? The interesting thing is that in this quiz, everyone is a winner. The world agrees with everyone and appears before each according to the guise that was ordered. So what do you think of your world? Basically what he's saying, whatever it is that you're thinking in your head, whatever your thoughts are, is basically what you're going to get back. And that's why it's called the world mirror, because it's a reflection of what you're seeing, of what your thoughts are, per se. Let me read you this, and you're going to be able to comprehend much better. We all live in the same world, and this is how, we all live in the same world, and yet every individual moves along their own lifeline. The qualities of the material world are the same for everyone. It is just that it is concrete. Realization is unique within the context of the person's life. For example, imagine that you are a tourist and you're walking around a beautiful city, per se, let's say New York City. I've always wanted to go to New York City. So, for those of you all have been to New York City, or for those of you like me that have just seen pictures and videos and movies, right? So you're walking around New York City and you're admiring all the architecture, the flower beds, the fountains. Say there's Times Square and that big old jumbo digital screen that's advertising all these gas and Pepsi and all of these commercials. And then say that maybe it's Christmas time, and say maybe the Christmas tree is up, that huge tree. Again, this is basically of just what I've seen on TV and, pictures myself. So you're walking around and you're seeing all the smiling faces, other people that maybe live there on the hustle every day. And there's other people just like you that are walking around that are tourists themselves. And so you're walking around the whole city, and then you pass by, and there somewhere in a corner, somewhere close to an alley, far away in the distance, you've seen that there's a homeless person there, right? So that homeless person there, he's in the same city as you are, in the same dimension, right? The same moment that you're in. And he does not see what you're seeing. I mean, here you are walking around with a big old smile, and you're just seeing everything is just so pretty, and you're thinking in your heart how blessed you are to have saved up the money to go there, to be there with whomever you're there with your family, a loved one, etc. And that person there, the homeless person, he is in the same dimension, but he does not see what you see. He sees instead an empty bottle in a bin, and a dirty wall. And he also sees a competitor, which is another homeless person there, it's nearby, who's also eyeing out that same bottle. Maybe there's a swig of something left and a little bit of wine or something, right? And then he sees that a policeman is eyeing him out, right? Because he looks a little bit suspicious. So he's feeling a little bit uneasy. And you're not feeling uneasy. You don't see the policeman there. You don't even see the bottle, but he's seen all these things. So y'all both are in the same, square footage in the area, in that vicinity, which is called dimension of time. And you are in a whole another world, seeing life through a whole different view in your mind and your thoughts. And this other person is thinking, you know, what am I going to eat tonight? Where am I going to sleep tonight? Am I going to be robbed tonight? Am I going to be beaten on tonight? I mean, his thoughts are all different, right? So you live one life, one lifeline, and the homeless man lives another lifeline. Your life intersects at a point in the alternative space. Again, this is a quantum physics book, right? But it's the same, you know, but we all know what the word space is. So we're all in the same space, and bringing you together into the same world in the dimension of physical reality. So again, it's a perception of what you're seeing, right? So let me continue on over here with the interpretation of the world mirror. When a person is convinced that all the things in this world have already been sold out, then their shelves will always remain empty. Again, your thoughts, your negative thoughts will always keep you in that negative space, right? When they think that buying a high quality item will mean standing in a huge line, then parting with a large sum of money, then that is exactly what will happen. That is what the person is thinking. I'm standing in this long line. I'm going to spend $2,000 for this 60-inch TV, instead of thinking, oh, we're getting a new TV. Now we're going to be able to watch, well, say the Super Bowl, you know, was on. The Super Bowl. And we're going to be able to have friends come over. And, you know, instead of seeing it in a different way, you could see that you're standing in a big line and you're going to spend all this money on this big TV screen, right? Then that's exactly what is going to happen. If a person's expectations are pessimistic, which is tending to see the worst, you're always seeing the worst, you're pessimistic, and riddled with a doubt, then they will undoubtedly be justified, because that's what you're thinking, that's what you ordered, that's what your mind saw, that's what you're thinking in thoughts, that's what you're reflecting on back. If a person expects to meet with an unfriendly environment, then their misgivings will be proven true. However, when a person is saturated with the innocent thought, an innocent thought, like children, right? They just ask for things. They're not thinking, they don't know mom and dad have the money. They don't know, they just ask. They're just so innocent. So when a person is saturated with the innocent thought that the world has reserved the best for life in them, then that works too. Hey, I like that idea, right? And I'm thinking about, you think of it as a child. Again, when you're born, you're born with these gifts, and you come in with a whole new reality. You come in, and we talked about this in principle number 1. You know, we come in with all these gifts and all these powers. And that's why I guess as children, you know, the children just ask, they don't, but then as a child, you start telling the child there's no money, and there's no money, and we're poor, and we're this. So you start then conditioning the child to think, well, my family is poor, my family doesn't have money. You start to mess with their head, and actually they came into this life all perfect, because that's how God sent us, that we're coming here, we're going to have abundance, and whatever it is that we need, want, whatever, God's going to provide for us, right? And instead, you start to mingle with the dreamers, as we talked with principle number 1. You start to mingle with the dreamers that are already here, and all those gifts that you were sent with are just slowly starting to go away, and you're just slowly starting to become into a zombie state, and you're going back and mingling with all the people again in the herd of cow we talked about in yesterday's video. So basically, that's where everything starts to go wrong. But actually, a child is perfect, and if we could just keep that child mentality and get the kid whatever he or she wants, when they get older, they're not going to suffer with all these subconscious thoughts that we have in our mind. But then again, I'm getting ahead of myself. But anyway, so going back to this, So then he goes to go saying that the person will find him or herself at the counter where there has just been a fresh delivery of if anything, fresh delivery of bread, whatever it is, right? As if timed especially for them. Then they suddenly learn that the first buyer gets everything for free. So it's still like, wow, right? So then a long line forms behind them of people who know that the reality of life is pretty miserable. And all the other fools were just lucky. Oh, they just got lucky because they got here first. Because, you know, I'm never lucky. I never win at anything. I've never won anything. Because that's, again, how they're always thinking, right? If someday, when confronted with the realities of life, the lucky person changes their opinion of the world, then the reality will change accordingly. And when they finally open their eyes to the truth, they will be thrown right into the very back of the line. So, again, in summing all of this up, the world is what you think of it. It appears to me as I ordered. I always think to me, the world appears to me as I ordered. So, what do I think of my world today? What will you think of your world today? Only happy thoughts, people. Happy thoughts. Wake up. Remember, when we came into this world, we came with gifts. We came with so many blessings. Claim those gifts again. Claim them now. They're yours. They're your birth gifts. Wake up from that zombie state and start thinking different thoughts, because in this book, Reality Transurfing, Vadim Zeland makes reference throughout the whole book. He talks a lot about pendulums, and we'll talk about those later. But he talks about that life is a mirror. Life is a mirror. So whatever it is that I'm radiating out is basically what I'm going to get back. So again, what are my thoughts? Are my thoughts of negative? My thoughts are of not having enough? Are my thoughts of worry? I'm going to get paid on Friday and there's not going to be enough money. Start thinking differently. That way life can be served to you as the way that you're thinking. Again, what will you be thinking of today? What is your world going to be like today? What do I think of my world today? So walk around with that question in your mind for the next 3 days until it gets penetrated in there. What will my world be today? Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you have gotten some type of value out of these films. I'm just excited to be sharing that information. And stay tuned. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And we will come on again with another video for the next principle. Thank you so much for watching. Besos.